Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show.
It may well possess a rudimentary intelligence.
I'm trying to think, but nothing happens.
Felt a great disturbance in the force.
Hello, I'm Mr. Red.
Come on, bark like a dog for me.
Where's the goodies? Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
I bet you wouldn't have done anything like this if Mom and Dad were here.
You filthy criminal.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Here are your hosts, Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
Diamond Dallas Page was the underdog. He was the blue-collar guy. He was the guy that was never supposed to make it.
This man never asked for anybody's help, and he's done it on his own.
The people love Diamond Dallas Page, and they should. Diamond cutter by Page.
We've got a new world champion, guys.
And it's DDP.
DDP, and he earned it.
When his in-ring career came to a close, Dallas shifted his focus to helping current and former superstars when he founded the revolutionary DDP Yoga program.
Anything is possible.
Even having Diamond Dallas Page on Everything Old is New Again. Welcome. This is Douglas Viviani Sands. Unfortunately, David Cohen cannot make this, and he's kicking himself because he's a huge wrestling fan. As you know, we're listening to Everything Old is New Again. We've touched upon this topic quite a bit, but that's okay because we have, as I said, a co-host this week extraordinaire. He was the WCW World Heavyweight Champion. He 3 times, by the way, 2-time WCW United States Heavyweight Champion, 4-time WCW World Tag Team Champion, 1-time WCW World Television Champion, and was the 4th WCW Triple Crown Champion and 1-time WWE European Champion, 1-time WWE World Tag Team Champion. Is that enough? No. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, class of 2017, and someone who now, as of right now, today, listening to this show, has the ability to, just by listening to him, you will have the ability to change your life through the words and wisdom and philosophies of Diamond Dallas Page and his DDPY, DDP Yoga, ddpyoga.com, or otherwise known as DDPY. Welcome to Everything Old is New Again, Diamond Dallas Page.
Dude, I love that open. My 2 things that made me laugh, was, hello, I'm Mr. Red. I mean, I watched that as a kid, and excuse me while I whip this thing out. From Blazing Saddles. That was just, those moments, man. They take you back there when they're that iconic, and you never forget them, bring you right back to where you were at that time. There were so many of them, but those are the 2.
That's what we try
really stood out.
We try to bring that out, and it brings a smile to everyone's face right away. So we've got that going for us, which we really love. And the idea is we've even had Butch Patrick from the Munsters and Robin from the original Batman and Robin was on the show. So we've had our touch with that and really had some fun with it. And listen, that's part of the theme of the show. Everything Old is New Again. I'm not saying you're old at 63. I'm not old at 58.
64. And I'll be 65 in another month and a half. And dude, I embrace it. Every bit of it.
That's what I was going to say. It's just experience, and it is an attitude. It's all about attitude. And let's go back to square one just a little bit here, because there's so much to cover. So I might talk a little bit fast. Feel free. I want to get off the air myself and have Diamond Dallas Page talk to us. So the idea is, after struggling with dyslexia growing up and becoming a wrestling manager of Kurt Hennig and some others, you were an announcer alongside legend Gordon Solie. I remember those days when he was on a wrestling, Southern Wrestling was great, Florida Wrestling. And after being turned down by the WWF to announce, you began wrestling yourself with a little help from Dusty Rhodes at the age of 35. So tell me what you were thinking at that time in your life with respect to maybe a pivot in your career, or at least a boost in your career at 35 to start at the bottom, so to speak, as a wrestler and work yourself up, some years later to be the World Heavyweight Champion. Was that a goal? Was that something in your mind? You are relentless. We'll talk about that. But I just want to get an idea of what you were thinking about at that time when you were beginning your wrestling career at 35.
Well, it wasn't my choice, really. I was managing the Fabulous Freebirds and Scott Hall. At the time, he was known as the Diamond Stud. And I was doing color commentating on the 4th string team with Eric Bischoff, which means our show aired probably in places like Moose Breath, Iowa at 2 a.m. So when Magnum came up to me and he said, Dallas, we can't let you manage the guys anymore. Dusty didn't want this, he loves you, but he just couldn't do it. So he asked me to do it. So I go, you're firing me from managing? He goes, it's not your fault. I go, what did I do? I'll change it. And he's like, you really can't change it. It's the hair, the clothes, the bling, the diamond dolls, the rap. It's just like you're taking too much attention away from the actual wrestlers, and they're the ones who draw the money. And I said, Magnum, are you telling me that I'm too over the top for professional wrestling? And he started laughing. He was like, dude, it's not your fault. What we should have done is put you in a pair of tights and boots and see if you could do this. And he kind of laughed because, I was 35 and a half, but I had 7 months left on my contract. And I tried to wrestle when I was 23. It didn't work out for me. I was in the nightclub business. And when I hurt my knee, I just figured I'm going to go back. It was 1979. I wrestled a couple of times. And then the 80s wrestling blew up. I was so mad I stopped watching. I knew I was supposed to be a part of that. In my soul, I knew it. And so I stopped watching wrestling. And then at some point, I got pulled back in because of Jesse Ventura and Jake the Snake Roberts and became a big fan again. And then at some point at 31, I made a decision I was going to try to get back in as a manager in a color, late. And I didn't even think about color commentating. It was actually Dusty Rhodes who put me in that position where I became a color commentator for Florida Championship Wrestling. And I was like, Dusty, I never say I can't, but I don't know a wrist lock from a wristwatch. I don't think I have the ability to do that yet. And he said, don't worry about it, kid. Gordon Foley going to walk you through it all. And he really did. And I learned so much. And when I went to Florida, when I went to WCW with Dusty, he made me a color commentator and a manager. And then about 9 months in, I didn't get a contract for the first 5 months. And I finally got a contract. And about 5 months into that contract, basically I was taking too much attention away from the boys. So I made a decision. As Magnum's telling me, we should have given you a pair of tights and boots and see if you could do this. I knew I was 35 and a half, and I knew that was going to be really hard. But I had a passion. I had a dream. I had a belief. And I knew I was going to outwork everyone. No one knew my real work ethic back then. And when I went to that power plant to learn how to wrestle, I can't tell you how many times my body hit that mat. And I was like, this fake stuff hurts like hell. I felt every square inch of that mat. And there's a lot of times where I said to myself, you sure you really want to do this? But every time the answer would come back, yes.
So the idea is when you're doing something you love, it's not work, and it's not, certainly it's dedication, certainly it's being relentless. But I think what you're trying to say, at least the way what I'm hearing is when you do something you love and you know that you have the capability of doing, of course, you got to marry those two things. You then, work is not work. It's the pleasure of doing what you love. And so you outworked others because you just, for some reason inside your soul, loved wrestling and this business. Does that make sense?
Yes. And the thing about being 35 and a half, that was really hard because of my age, but it was actually really helpful because I was much smarter at 35 and a half than I would have been at 25 and a half or 28 or 29. You think you're indestructible. So you do a lot of crazy stuff. And I did a lot of crazy stuff, but my whole run, my career took off when I was 40.
Right.
And I'm talking about on the back end of 40. And my birthday's in April, and my career started to take off in November, December. And by April, I was headlining the pay-per-view with Randy Savage, and my feud is with the NWO. And it blew me through the roof. In 1997, I was awarded the most valuable wrestler in WCW, the most over guy in the company. Pro Wrestling Illustrated gave Randy Savage and I the feud of the year.
Right.
It literally changed my life.
Exactly. We'll go out on that in a minute. And just as a piece of the pie here, and that wasn't time when wrestling was, I'm not putting it down, but in this early 70s where there was a lot of bear hugs and so forth and tests of strength, this was when you're jumping off the top ropes and very athletic at the age of 40. So we're going to talk about that in a minute, how you got to do that, and talk about how you even are doing it and did do it a year or two ago, and how yoga helped with that. So we're back right at this, and everything old's new again.
It is on. He got it. He hooked him, boys. He hooked him. That's it. This place has erupted. Everyone is standing. Savage, when you thought he had Diamond Dallas had Savage. And look at Nick Patrick.
The pressure's on him right now, Brain. He knows he's not going to get up.
Come on, Patrick.
Count him.
Come on.
1, 2, 3.
He got it. He got it. He got it. He got it. He got it.
You're listening to Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
He sent me those first two pictures with the knee braces, the back brace, the canes, 297 pounds, and his belly was out to here. And I was thinking, God, how am I going to help that guy?
Just because I can't do it today doesn't mean I'm not going to be able to do it someday.
Welcome back to Everything Old is New Again. This is Douglas Viviani, sans David Cohen. He's eating his heart out at this point in time because we have Diamond Dallas Page on the air with Everything Old is New Again, and we've going to little pivot a little bit here to talk a little bit about something that's so interesting that I find that after his tremendous wrestling career, Diamond Dallas Page didn't just kind of sit back and go to the beach and hang out, right? He's turned something, a love of his that he kind of found through recuperating from some problems, physical problems himself, something called yoga, and turned it into his own thing. And now if you go to DDP Yoga.com, you're going to see all kinds of inspirational stories. You're going to see videos. You're going to see apps. You're going to see ways that you can change your life, becoming flexible, becoming thinner, becoming more in shape with more core. And we're talking to the creator of that, Diamond Dallas Page. Of course, he built his yoga upon yoga of the past, so it fits right in with Everything Old is New Again, building upon something from the past, but making it better and making it more accessible to all of us. That was a clip we heard from a gentleman by the name of Arthur, who, if you take a look at, again, go to ddpyoga.com, you'll see his story, but it was sort of the turning point, I would suggest, from watching Relentless and some other movies, which we'll talk about, that are on that website as well. And it's kind of inspirational in that this gentleman was with crutches, was very overweight, and he called himself disabled and said he'll always be disabled, and but he doesn't have to be this way. And so he took a stand, and I think all of us at some point with these New Year's resolutions and all that about losing weight, getting healthy, you don't kind of know where to go with it. I think we have a place to go now with ddpyoga.com. Diamond Dallas Page, tell us a little bit about what's different about this yoga than, like, sometimes people think yoga and they think of these gymnastic type bodied women bending and so forth and flowers and so forth. And that's not always what I would suggest is what you're promoting. You're bringing yoga to all of us. And tell us in some ways what that is, if that makes sense. What is DDPY?
DDPY, of course, well, the company will always be DDP Yoga, but the workouts, I brand them now, everything DDPY. Why? For starters, I want people to stop calling it just yoga. Because when people put us in a box with yoga, it's way over to the left. It's a chick thing. It's, stretching thing. Right. It's not really a workout. That's not true. There's so many different types of yoga. I'm the guy who literally wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga the first 42 years of my life. And you have to understand, this came to me out of necessity. It's not like I finished my wrestling career and thought, no, and I'm going to come up with a workout. No, what happened is my career took off when I was 40. That was in 96. 97 and 98, I was on top of the world. I headlined over 13 out of 24 main event pay-per-views. I was wrestling 270 days a year. in the ring. Never mind the travel, 100, 200, 300 miles in the car, flying cross country. My schedule was rigorous. And then one night, I just signed a multi-million-dollar 3-year deal. I finally got paid, and about a week later, I took a bump from Kevin Nash off his 7-foot self to the mat. And it wasn't that fall that broke my back. It was the proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. Now, if I don't get back in the ring in the next 6 months, my contract will go bye-bye. So everything I worked for will be gone. And really, believe it or not, it wasn't about the money as much as it was about me finally being one of the top guys in the world. And I couldn't imagine it being over. So I was told by 3 different spine specialists that my career was over. What I did was rupture my L4 and L5. Those are the magic discs that we have in between our vertebrae that God gave us. And think of a jelly donut and just step on it. That's what it was like. So I'm bone on bone at L4 and L5. And 3 different spine specialists told me, you're never going to be able to wrestle again. If you try to, you'll be crippled. And my wife at the time, my first wife, was like, you need to try doing yoga. And I was really resistant to it. So I understand anybody going, oh, yeah, yoga. I get it. Again, another reason why I branded DDPY, because it ain't your mama's yoga. If it's yoga for people who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. And again, I love all sorts of yoga today. I don't do them. I do my own thing. And what I did is I started doing yoga, and Kimberly got me doing yoga, and I couldn't do any of the moves. There was no modifications. My workout is filled with modification just because of that. Because people come to me and they're broken, they're beat up, they're overweight, they're ex-athletes or cops or whatever, and they're beat up. Well, I can rebuild you through my workout. I did it for me, and I've done it for thousands of people. The deal was, one day, about 3 weeks in, I started feeling these yoga positions, they're really helping me. But I was still doing rehab for my back as well. And I had rehabbed already, 2 shoulder surgeries, 2 knee surgeries. What I did is I mixed the rehabilitation techniques with the yoga positions. And then I threw in old school calisthenics, everything we grew up as a kid. Push-ups, squats, crunches, and I did them with a slow burn movement. And what I figured out by accident, every time you flex or engage a muscle, your heart has to beat faster to get the blood to the muscle. I call it dynamic resistance. It's actually isometrics and isokinetics, which is moving isometrics. It's time under tension. It's flexing as you're moving. So we're not just stretching with DDPY. We're stretching and strengthening muscles, ligaments, and tendons. In less than 3 months, I had developed a workout at its infancy stages that was kick-ass cardio, dramatically increase your flexibility, strengthen your core at a whole different level, all with minimal joint impact. Now, Don, you can see me. People at home can't. But I'm going to stand here on one leg, and I'm going to grab my foot and put it right in your face and then pull it over my head and stand here and continue this interview while my right foot is literally over my 6'4", 225-pound frame and a month and a half from 65 years young.
Right.
I live the program. I don't ask anybody to do anything I don't do. Anyone out there can try my program for 7 days on my app. That app has $4 million it's cost me to build that over the last 5 or 6 years. I think it's 6 years. The bottom line is, it's not just workouts. By the way, you'll kill me. Your workouts will be too hard. My workouts start off with bed flex, meaning you're in bed. Like, if you can't get out of bed, I got 3 workouts for you. They're going to help you get out of bed and sit in a chair. I got 8 workouts for you sitting in a chair. Then I'm going to give you workouts where you stand and you sit, and you stand and you sit, and you stand and you sit. And that builds your strength. Eventually, now you can stand and hold on to a chair to build your balance, your strength, your mobility, help you get up and get down. Then it goes all the way from beginner to psycho extreme stuff. Every Monday on the app, Motivational Monday, me giving you a motivational message. Every Tuesday, a new workout. Every Wednesday, a new cooking show. Every Thursday, new tip of the week. Every Friday, fabulous Facebook Friday. And coming up next week, every Saturday will be another hardcore workout. So I'm constantly putting up content. I'm constantly inspiring people. I give people a way to track their progress, the pictures, the measurements, the pain, your weight, your blood sugar, your A1C, your blood pressure. Like, we can literally rebuild you and take a supreme athlete to a whole different level.
Right, and with all of that, it becomes, and this sounds silly, but it becomes like a video game. It also becomes like a, you can check into yourself and see how you're changing number-wise, and over time, I mean, you're going to interact with this website, and I should say more or less the app, all the time, because you almost have a personal experience with it. You start to own it. Let me ask you, and we only have a minute left in this section, how much time would an individual ultimately have to devote to per day to get the most out of this system?
You start easy. I start everybody basic with my 25-minute workouts. That's all it is. 25 minutes, 3 days a week. Now, if you do the workout 3 days a week, it'll change the way you feel. You do it 4 days a week, you change your life. You do it 5 days a week, you own your life. And that's who I am. No one can tell me what I can or can't do at any age.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm telling you, it's inspirational, and I'm telling you, there's something to get involved with. Again, DDPYoga.com, DDPYoga.com. We'll put it up on our website, of course, and also on YouTube, you can see Diamond Dallas Page once in a while do a salad for you. And I'm telling you, the way he prepares a salad, holy smokes! I have turned to salads based on those videos, and I'm telling you, he's made salads fun, and it's not, you don't have to just eat salads, but even he's suggests once in a while, before you go out to dinner, eat a salad. You may eat less at dinner. But we'll get to those things and those topics right after this on Everything Old is New Again with Diamond Dallas Page.
Self-high five. Great stuff, dude. Hey, have you actually seen the app? Awesome.
Well, this is Karen Allen from Raiders of the Lost Arkansas Man, and I'm here to tell you about my wonderful store and website, KarenAllenFiberArts.com. It's KarenAllen-FiberArts.com. I carry all kinds of really unique gifts and women's clothing lines from all over the world, from small studios that are things you won't see anywhere else. And if you're looking for a gift or something for yourself, please get in touch with us. We would love to help you find that special thing.
That's KarenAllen-FiberArts.com.
Now, back to America's entertainment pop culture talk show. Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
This is Johnny B. Bad, the bad man of World Championship Wrestling, and you're listening to David and Douglas. They're so outrageous, it's contagious on Everything Old is New Again.
Johnny B. Bad is loaded for bear. He is in excellent physical condition. You've seen it. The bad day, the bad How did he get hamburger from behind Diamond Dallas Page? I think he's out. He leveled him. This guy is trash. And he's got Johnny B. Bad's gun. This is just despicable.
There we go. Well, welcome back to Everything Old is New Again here with Douglas Viviani and Diamond Dallas Page. That's what he does to his friends. He's a friend with Mark Merrow, Wildman, or Johnny B. Bad, and of course he was playing the heel at that time. And just for kicks, I mean, we've had Mark Merrow on the show a number of times. He's a tremendous inspirational speaker. He does a great program, champion of choices, thinkpos.org, by the way. I'll throw that in there if you want to have him speak at your kid's school, because he is amazing. There's a video you can see on YouTube, 22 million views. I think he told me that one of your videographers actually filmed that video that you see on YouTube, 22 million views and counting.
Actually, we've tracked that video. Steve Hughes, my business partner, he's the one who did Arthur's video. He is the director of the resurrection of Jake the Snake. He is the executive producer of Relentless, our new documentary out right now. Steve's a genius. He's one of the best storytellers I've ever seen. And Mark, really, he was delivering such a magnificent talk to kids. Like, Mark can put these kids right in the palm of his hand. And it's just the way he's so authentic with his story and his message. And I said to Steve, I go, take the boys and go down there and film him, and let's see if we can come up with something that'll help him. And Steve took one story that Mark had told about his mom, and it's called The Mother's Love. And on his site, it's got 22 million, but that has been used on so many different websites. We can track it to over 500 million views. Mark went from, having trouble getting booked, like having to talk, how much, trying to explain how, as good his message is, to being asked for 3,000 bookings in a month.
Right. Yeah.
And that shows you the power of the internet, but the power of authentic message. Mark Merrow, a.k.a. Johnny Bad, is one of my closest friends. And, I mean, his message is, I've seen him in a room with football players who basically are more, gang members, and have them in the palm of his hand, being involved and tearing up. And, it's just like, when you have something so authentic, someone like Mark Merrow, and especially when it's so hard to talk to kids because they know everything, but he really comes down to their level and really, shares his message, and they get it. It's pretty powerful.
Exactly, and the power of the video these days on social media to be able to present that message. If you want to see some other messages, again, I'm just going to say it a couple more times. We want to get this down. DDPYoga.com. You can see it's not a video really, it's a movie called Relentless, which gives a history of and many inspirational stories within about DDPY and its effect on people and how authentic a message it is, in that you put your own financial future on the line for what you are doing now and have been doing for quite a while and successfully now, but you worked in the beginning out of your house and believed in what you were doing. The question is, to me, is how did you know in your heart that what you were doing was something that was going to help others? And maybe more importantly, why did you even care about helping other people?
I've been doing that my whole life. It's not like it's a job to me. When I was in wrestling, I helped over 30 guys live the dream. I got them jobs as wrestlers. It's really hard. You have to find someone to champion you. And I champion people who put work in, who really, have a desire, a passion, but also are willing to put the work in. And my program, again, I developed it to heal myself. And I wrestled till I was 46, retired, came back at 49 just to show what I could do with my program. And I did it. I had a hell of a run. And then I retired. And then I came out of retirement twice just for fun to show. And in the movie Relentless, I get asked to do it for what would be the last time. I'm 2 months from 64 years old. And I got in that ring and I lit it and I did stuff that I'd never even done before. It really was the proof of everything that I talked about in Relentless. The biggest thing is there's only one person that needs to believe in you, and that's you. And if you go back to your original question, how did I know? I knew it healed me. And I knew it healed so many people. When I came across Arthur Borman, the disabled veteran, 5'6", 297, was told and had been using knee braces, back braces, and wraparound canes for over 15 years, that was told he was never going to walk again by the doctors without the aid of the knee brace, the back brace, and the canes. And 10 months later, he drops from 297 to 157. He lost the knee braces, the back brace, and the wraparound canes, not just to walk, but run. It's another video that we have that on all the different platforms, the people who have used it, we can track it for over 500 million views. So when people share something like that, it's got to be really powerful. And Arthur, his son documented everything. I put together a video with Arthur and his son, and we put it out there, and it got like 100,000 views, but it didn't do what it did when Steve Yu redid it. But the internet wasn't ready for it then. It wasn't ready to go on that journey. Like, it took 8 years for DDP Yoga to be an overnight success.
Right.
8 years. I was $548,000 in. And the reason why people want to watch Relentless, it's on Amazon Prime. You can actually go to positivelyunstoppable.com. That's a book I released 2 years ago. It's like the blueprint for rebooting your brain. It teaches you how to own the story you tell yourself, that inner voice. It's like a workbook. And I really developed it for people who do my program so they can reboot their brain. Now, if you go to positivelyunstoppable.com, we're doing the Positively Unstoppable $1 million contest. Last year, it's supposed to be third place is $5,000, second place is $10,000, first place, there's 100 Positively Unstoppable books there. One of them has $1 million in it. $25,000 is the minimum that you can win. These 3 people we're looking for, I can't pick 3 because there's 4 of them that are so good. I got to throw another $5,000 in there for third place to have, tag team for third place. And because any one of these 4 people, Doug, could have won just under physical transformation. It goes from January 1st to October 31st. Pick 6 months in between there. The girls who won started on the last day you could get 6 months. April 31st, she started. By October 31st, she lost 87 pounds.
Yeah.
We had people, a guy named Scotty Boots lost 95 pounds. He looked unbelievable. Everybody's physical transformation was amazing. So then we go to the next phase, mental transformation. What did you do to reboot your brain? How is the story you were telling yourself different? All 4 of them could have won. So now I got to go to the last thing, documentation. How did you document the good, the bad, the ugly, and the really ugly? And Candy McCarthy Herndon, she just documented it all the way through. Not one of these people, a girl named Caitlin Kay was in second place, and tied for third was a guy named Scotty Boots Jorgensen and Justin Dobbins. Justin Dobbins, they all entered this competition not looking for money. They wanted to be around people who were like-minded. They were all looking for hope. Justin Dobbins, he started 22 months before this. On his own, he lost 174 pounds, a 6'7", 698 pounds. On his own, walking and changing his diet, he lost 174 pounds. But his body hurt so much, he couldn't keep walking. His hips, his back, his knees. So he started doing my program. 22 months from day one, the last 10 months was my program. He lost 401 pounds, no stomach surgery. Like, this is a man that's possessed, but he didn't document all the stuff. He didn't die. He just took pictures, and You could see where he went through. And even his local Missouri news station, they did stories on him. But he wasn't in it to win it. He got in the contest knowing he'd already lost a bunch of weight just to inspire other people.
Right. And you're inspiring us. We're running out of time here. We'll be back right at this. Everything Old's New again with Diamond Dallas Page.
Hey, yo, it's me. It's DDP.
This is Everything Old is New Again, America's entertainment pop culture talk show with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen.
You run for miles, to burn fat. And what? No time left for flexibility? I think most people get the need to build strength. And everyone does cardio to stay lean. For the last 2 decades, there's one thing I've learned, and it's that flexibility is youth. Not just in the body, but in the mind. But for most, it's an afterthought. Wouldn't it be cool if there was one workout that could accomplish all 3?
Welcome back to Everything Old is New Again. We're here with Diamond Dallas Page. And I'll tell you, it's something that's very interesting, because I've been all over the website at ddpyoga.com, and I'm going to get involved with this myself personally. But that aside for the moment, if you look at it, it's so interesting that, Diamond Dallas Page, you have a program that you can start where it's not, you don't feel like an outsider like some of these programs where, or everyone else seems to already have learned something before you even start, and you're already trying to catch up to them, and what they're teaching you is sort of maybe beyond you a little bit, and you go into it and you really got to put so much into it that you kind of get turned off one way or another because you're not getting the rewards. Completely different than what I see in your program. I think you could even start, if you can't get out of bed, you could start some yoga exercises right there and get going from there and have some achievement and tracking and some motivation and some inspiration. Tell us a little bit about that and the idea at DDPY as to the starting point. So it's not so, like I say, you could start with 25 minutes a day and get yourself going. So it's not going to turn you off. You're kind of going to get some ownership in this yourself, because you're going to be able to achieve even the basics in the beginning. I mean, we all have to walk before we can run, right?
100%. And there's a really great site on Facebook. It's not mine. It's started by members. And it's DDP Yoga. It's one word. I tell everybody, don't listen to a word I have to say about my own program, putting it over. Go to that Facebook site and read what people write. Like, I created a thing on the app, Fabulous Facebook Fridays. All I do is read stories from that Facebook page. And the cool thing is I'm going to answer your question right now. So many people who have come on there and just thanked me personally for creating something that they can do. Like a workout for people, like our whole DDPY rebuild section. Again, it starts in bed with our bed flex workouts. Because some people can't get out of bed. Then it goes to a chair, sitting in a chair with our chair force workouts. Then in the chair and out of the chair, in the chair and out of the chair, then using the chair. So when I even get to my beginner stuff, intermediate, advanced, when it's all on our 2.0 series, there's always someone modifying the position. You'll hear me say it over and over and over again. Make the DDPY your own. DDPY meets you where you are. If you check your ego before you go into it, or put it in DVD, because we still sell a lot of DVDs. It blows my mind, but we do. But our app is just a whole different animal because it's so interactive. It has so much more. And again, my goal is not to kick your ass. Now, there are where the more advanced workouts are. My goal is there's one series of workouts that I call sweating and swearing. And people who are in really great shape, that's what they're looking for. But I don't start there. I start with the people who are immobile and need that help. I've got people who are over 600 pounds who start my program. Women over 300. I've had women over 400 pounds start my program and had unbelievable results because, again, it meets you where you are. And my goal isn't for you to get done with the workout. And ideally, it really is. Even for those kick-ass workouts, my goal is not to walk away feeling like I kicked my own ass. My goal is to walk away feeling energized, to feeling unstoppable. That's what I think that Facebook site really gives it. It's the greatest community you've ever seen. If you go on there, there's 6 pictures I have people take. And the reason why I have them take, because it's physiology, flexibility, and core strength. And every month, you get to see those pictures change. If you're doing your weight, you'll get to see that drop. If you're doing your inches, you'll get to see that drop in size, but gain in inches lost. If you put the pain, you're going to see those pain meters drop. These are all things that justify the work. The girl who won our Positively Unstoppable contest last year, Candy McCarthy Herndon, the first month, now she had Hashimoto's disease. And they say, like, it's impossible for you to lose weight. Like that's what she was told. And she was super depressed. She was just looking for any kind of hope. She was a wrestling fan. She didn't even know I was doing this stuff, but she came across it and she was like, I got to try it. And that first month she lost, following my phase 3 eating plan and putting the workout in and reading Positively Unstoppable, rebooting her brain. So 17 pounds the first month. And she was like, oh my, and she videos it. So you hear her shock in her voice. In 6 months, she went on to lose 87 pounds.
Right.
And she looked unbelievable. But and what I did, and this is anybody who ends up as finalists, I did it for the first time this last year. And I had a COVID-free Christmas party, which meant every single person had to be tested within the last 48 hours to get in the party. Well, we were bringing all 4 of our contestants in and their significant other. And they all got to come to my party. And it wasn't a huge party like it normally is. So I got to spend some real time with them. They bonded together as a foursome, like I can't even explain. And because again, none of them joined the PositivelyUnstoppable.com $1 million contest. They didn't come in there for the money. They came in there looking for hope, looking for people who were like-minded, people who had a positive attitude and wanted to build on that. They were, they're like the Beatles now. Like they go on little talk shows online, and I've had them come on and do stuff with me, and they're amazing. The guy I was telling you about, Justin Dobbins, who's lost 401 pounds in 22 months. He just sent me an email or text saying, hey, D, I got a lot of big boys in my group because he's working with a lot of guys who are really big. And he goes, I love this belt. We give everybody a championship belt, finalist belt to wear around. And they're all super proud of it. But being the guy that Justin Dobbins is, he's put out a challenge to him. He's got like 5 guys that all got 400 pounds to lose. And he said anybody who beats his record of 401 pounds, he will sign that belt. I will sign it, and we will give it to them.
And wow, that time went fast. Unfortunately, we're out of time. But we will be back next week with more with Diamond Dallas Page. Get the DDPY program on DVD or on the app ddpyoga.com. Watch Relentless for more inspiration, also on ddpyoga.com. And The Resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts, a great documentary on how DDP Yoga changed his life. We'll be back with Everything Old is New Again, more entertainment, pop culture next week, next time with Diamond Dallas Page, Part 2. David Cohen, looking for gift cards. I'm looking for something to give, family members, friends, something you could send. You're not going to be around people all that often. I thought of something called Personal Chef to Go. Have you heard of this?
I have heard of it, Doug, believe it or not. I get it all the time, man.
What do you get?
Well, they're professional chefs, and they create these fully prepared, fresh, restaurant-quality meals at a fraction of the cost of eating out. And their meals are much healthier for you with less fat, salt, and sugar. And they ship fresh, never frozen meals nationwide, express, safely to your doorstep, and shipping is always free.
Man, that's unbelievable. Rotating menu you could choose from. Get on that website, personalchef2go.com, personalchef2go.com. You can call them at 877-233-4208. And by the way, you want to save 20%? Chef20. That's the code, Chef20. Save 20% off at personalchef2go.com. personalchef2go.com.
Hey, Doug, it seems like we've done so many shows. What is the actual count?
We're at 214 and counting, increasing every week.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes.
All right, so let's say that I'm a listener, I'm a fan of the show, and I've missed the last 213 shows, right? Where can I go to hear this stuff?
It's a great question. We have a channel on YouTube. So just go to Everything Old is New Again Radio. Look that up on YouTube. Just throw it into the search engine. You will see us come up, and you will see all of those shows listed on YouTube. You can listen anytime.
Now, what if I wanted to find you somewhere else, like on Facebook?
Yeah, we're on Facebook. Yeah, absolutely. Facebook also. Just go Everything Old is New Again in the search. You will find us. And we post shows all the time. In fact, every Friday at 5 Eastern Standard Time, we post an old show so you can listen to it on the way home from work.
Wow. That's cool. That's new, right?
It sure is. I would suggest you do that. Everything Old is New Again. Enjoy. And you can find us on the web at everythingoldisnewagain.biz. You've been listening to Everything Old is New Again, America's pop culture entertainment talk show. Find us on the web at everythingoldisnewagain.biz. That's .biz.
See you next week. Same bat time, same bat station.